fun fact for you, Goldilocks in the 19th century was named Silverhair. So, hello people, hello again, and so today we're going to look at the Antichrist and the false prophet. I'm going to explain who they are. So let's go to Revelation chapter 13. Now it says that he stood on the sea, and he saw a beast rising out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and his head had a blasphemous name. So I'm going to explain what this means. Now the 7 heads represent the 7 worlds of the major past empires. So it starts with the Egyptian Empire, then after them came the Assyrian, then the Babylonian, then the Persian, then the Greek, then the Greek Empire, then the Roman Empire, and then it talks about the 7th Empire. So now this is talking about the Antichrist's empire. So he's going to reign over all the Middle Eastern area up to North Africa, and it also talks about an 8th empire at the end of Revelation. What this basically talking about is, so the 7th empire is the EU, and so what he does is, he gathers his army and he takes over that area, and so that would become the 8th empire. So the 7th empire would be like the EU for the first 3.5 years. Then the war happens, the River Euphrates, and then he takes over that area, combining his empire with the EU's empire, so that would be all of Europe, and then all of the Middle East, up to North Africa, and the rest of the Middle Eastern area, and that would be the 8th empire. And so then the 10 horns, that would be a coalition of 10 kings that reign over this empire of his, and so the 10 crowns would be their leadership, so they'd be like political leaders. Now the beast was like a leopard. His feet were that of a bear. The mouth of a lion, and the dragon, that be Satan, gave his power, his throne, and gave a great authority. So Satan gave the Antichrist his own throne, his own power, and great authority as well. So I hope that's clear for you. And so one of his heads was like wounded, and so this is not talking about the Antichrist getting assassinated. What it's talking about an empire that was dead and once came alive again. So it's talking about the Babylonian Empire, because it disappeared, and then people are going to say it gets resurrected, because the Antichrist is going to establish his headquarters in Babylon, so Iraq, and it talks about how he was given a great mouth, and how he was given authority to continue for the last 3.5 years, or 42 months, the last 3.5 years of the tribulation. And then it talks about this beast of the earth. So what this beast is, he is a lamb, and he had 2 horns, and he exercises all authority of the first beast, and he causes the earth and those who dwell to worship the first beast. He calls fire down from heaven in people's sight. And so what this is, the lamb, he'll be a rogue Catholic priest. Not saying Catholics are bad. So what I'm saying is there'll probably be a rogue Catholic priest who'll say Jesus was never God, or something like that, even though all Catholic priests know that Jesus is God in human form. And so he'll be a rogue Catholic priest. He'll say Jesus was never God, and he'll be embraced by all Muslims in the world, and so he'll unite with the Antichrist, who will be a Muslim, who will accept him, and so he'll marry. The 2 horns represents him marrying Islam and Christianity all together. So if he marries those 2 religions together, he can unite all the other religions in the world, create a one world religion. And basically he makes an image of the beast, which will stand in the temple that that was used by the Jews to worship God, and he will make it speak and live. So it'll be not a hologram like image. It'll be like Daniel. You've probably heard of the story about Daniel's three friends refusing to worship the image that King Nebuchadnezzar made out of gold. So it'll be like an image like that, and it will literally come to life, and anyone who doesn't worship it will be killed. Now let's talk about this mark of the beast, and many people have speculated what it might be. So you probably heard that, and it's going to go in the right hand or in the forehead, and no one will be able to buy or trade with it, so it will affirm their allegiance with the beast. And so if you're doing the tribulation, which I hope you're not, anyone who's watching this, you'll not be able to be accepted, you'll not be able to accept Christ as your Lord and Saviour, because if it was just a simple mark that you could just take out, then be fine, you could just chop your hand off or something. But what this mark is going to do is, because Jesus only died for humanity, what this mark is going to do is, it's probably going to be something like this: hey, if you take this mark, you're going to live a really long life. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but what this mark is going to do, if it's inserted into you, it's literally going to corrupt your DNA. It'll probably get demonic DNA, and it'll probably be inserted with your DNA, and so it'll make you invincible and stuff. And because God didn't die for hybrids, he only died for humanity, you will not be able to be saved, because then, just like in the days of Noah, God had to wipe out all the Nephilim, half human, half angels, because they contaminate the human genome. So you'll have to throw those people automatically in hell, because they'll start contaminating the human genome. So yeah, basically, if you hear about something like that in the future that will be inserted into the right hand on the forehead, don't take it. Also, in chapter 14, it talks about the Lamb and 144,000 people. So that's the remnant of Israel who will go, who go into start proclaiming the gospel and stuff like that, and making sure people don't try and take the mark, and anyone else who tries to escape the Antichrist, they'll escape to this place called Petra, which is in Jordan, and it's like an ancient city that was discovered. It's got like buildings carved into the rock itself, and angels will go there and take care of people who stay there. So I'm going to split the videos here, and I'm going to talk about the prelude to the bowl judgments. So this is the last 3.5 year judgment.